want to introduce you Dmitry. He's launching his B2B startup in Asia, and he will describe his founder journey in Asia and regarding steps with regulation, with partners, also pivots. Dmitry, let's.
Thank you, Slava. Slava just told about P2P and P2B lendings in the world, and the main difference of WishFinance, of our product, that we try to create it cross borders. So the difference between, for example, lending clubs and us, that we try to collect money from the investor in Singapore and lend it in the Philippines. So this is about what we're doing, yeah. But last several hours you listen about theory, about what we have, what vertical we have, what products are there already online. And what I want to describe now is how we start our business in 6 months. We're just 6 months old in WishFinance. So I want to share with you some experience how we can do it so fast. First of all, it's always an idea. When we talk about fintech, about all the verticals, it's a question of opportunities around, because fintech is the biggest mass market ever. If you go to the shop and want to buy a potato, or you go to gasoline station and want to buy gasoline, yes, you should pay. You always pay, and somebody pay to you. That means that fintech is always about everything in your life, because money is everywhere. It's always like in a startup, when you try to do something and it's not working. So you should just try to do this to understand what will not work. And so first of all is idea, because opportunities is around, you should understand this opportunity and catch it. When you catch it, you should try to describe it. Never describe it inside your head. When you have some idea, you should describe it on the paper, because when you move the idea from your head to your paper, it may be different, like here, because I have these two presentations, but something's not working. So after you finish this step in the first month, why first month? Not one day, because you should think about it sometime. Maybe today you think that idea is really cool, and maybe today you think that the idea is really cool, but tomorrow you will think that this is another. This is not so cool as you thinking before. And after 1 month, you should have some small description, maybe one A4 paper with this idea to move forward. When I like travel, and I like travel in Asia. I lived in several countries, in Thailand, in Singapore, in Bali, in Indonesia, and I visit a lot of countries in Asia too, and other countries. And when I moved from country to country, I found the ideas inside, that in one countries, investor, for example in Singapore, can invest their money only for more or less 2% per year. And for example, in the Philippines, if a small medium business go into bank, they try to take loans up to 40%. So the average is about 32%. So this is the big difference, and we can live there. My idea was that we can live there because we have 30% difference. So you can add more value to investor, you can add more value to lender. That's how it collect in my mind. Then I started to describe it, and the next step for all startups are really important. It's Alec. It's talking. You should talk about your idea. You should talk about idea with everyone, with your friends first of all, with the guys from the market, with your colleagues, with everyone, because because when you are thinking alone, it's just the one head. When you're thinking all together, it's a lot of heads. So somebody say to you, okay, you should think about this one. Okay, you should think about this one. Another guy say, okay, here will be the problem, or not, or you should improve there. And you should collect this feedback. You can use Google Docs or Excel. It's okay. It's very simple. When you talk with somebody, for example, I started talking with a live threader 6 months ago. We're just drinking a beer, and I said to them, come on guys, I have this cool idea. They said to me, okay, you should talk with these guys, and with these guys. So it's not my personal connection, it's a connection of live threader. So when you talk with somebody can get you some cool introduction to another step. And this step to another step, and this is iteration process when you talk with a lot of interesting guys from the market, and they share your experience with you. And you also should try to find something the same. Slava talked about several products, a lot of products on different markets. That means that basically the idea when you take some money from investor and take it to the lender via marketplace, via some platform, is working. So it's working around the world. Why we don't do it cross-border? I don't know. Yes.
As I remember, during these 2 months, you modified the WishFinance business concept and model. During these first months, can you describe this, how it worked actually in reality?
The basic problem was that we start not as P2P platform, we start as a P2P platform. But when we start to talking with the guys from the market, we understand that P2P is a required license, so it's regulated things. And P2B is not regulated, for example, in Philippines, so we can do this. And when you take money from investor in Singapore, it's not regulated too. That's why we're moving from P2P to B2B. That's why it's so important. Thank you, Igor, because you should open your mind and think about the problems that can be operationally. Especially in this case, another one problem is KYC, always. If we talk about fintech, you should always think about how you will do KYC for your clients. Because if you need to open 10,000 offices in country in one day as a startup, it's not working. You should go to the bank and working with bank because they have offices. If you want to work with fintech, you should remember this. How you will do it? Maybe it's some guys that will come to office of SME and make a KYC, but also, you should think about this. And this is about this idea plan business, when you're moving from the idea and try to find all stones that you will see at your way. And the another stone is a simple financial model. Simple financial model is very important because you should understand how much you will spend to raise your money, how much you will spend to salary, how much you will spend to each client, to pay for each client. And if your margin will be not huge, if it's really mass market, for example, if you want to launch a new online acquiring or something where you have very micro commission, you should understand here that you will need a lot of money, a lot of investment. In WishFinance, where we have the big difference between the percentage in different countries, when we take, for example, in our financial model, just Just for example, we can take to investor 8%, 10% per year, and for lender we can take 25%, so we have 25% margin. We can live with this because it's a big percent. When we talk about online acquiring, you will have 0.1% or something, and you should have a lot of clients inside to be successful, to be profitable. That's what I'm talking about. The second thing is paper proto. Don't forget to create paper proto. You don't need to create HTML or something or developing something. Just put this on the paper. This screen to this screen to this screen to this screen. It allows you to understand how your clients will work inside your system. The third thing, of course, continue talking with the partners. We continue talking with LiveThreader. We continue talking with another guys from the market because you should share with them how you're moving step by step. They should understand how you're thinking. They should understand how fast you are, who is your partners, and how you feel this, how much you're involved. That give to you in 2 months, this give to you 95% sure that idea will work, and for your partners that will give the understanding that you're a good guy, and they can work with you later, step by step. Come on, Igor.
As I remember, when we have met, it was only 2 people in your team, so yourself and Eugen, who is second founder. And you had all this simple financial model and drafted MVP of the product. So in your experience, what kind of skill set you should have in the team to proceed this? Because somebody have to be responsible for finance, for marketing, for product itself. So is it possible to actually launch the product with a team of 2 people?
Of course possible. It's possible to launch something when you have only 1 people. If you can do everything, if you have 27 hours in a day, of course you can do it by yourself. So it's not a problem. But yes, we start at 2 people now. I have a team of 4 people, including our developers. But answering to you, to your question, in our team I'm a more technical guy. I'm not a public person, unfortunately. Our CEO have a tight graphic, that's why I'm talking here. And the second guy should go to events like this. He should go to the events with investors. He should share with them traction, etc., etc., etc. Just talking and creating business model. And I will provide the technical stuff. We're not talking about this yet. Okay, another one thing about this slide is when you have some more or less paper MVP, you could ask your partners to invest to you. That's how it was. On the 3rd month, we received some pre-seed, small pre-seed round from LiveThreader. And we start working on development. When Igor asked me, he said when he was there was only 2 people. Yes, when we take the money from them, we can hire developers and create the first launch. The main thing here for all startups is not that the startups is concentrating on raising money. And when they raise money, they usually stop. You should not. If you raise money, you should work twice harder, triple harder, because the main goal of each startup is a happy end. and you will not reach the happy end if you not launch the product. So you should concentrate on the product. When startupper concentrate on the product, he start thinking like, I want to develop the ideal product. Come on, guys. If you will develop ideal product, like for example Microsoft, yes, the big product. If you try to develop it, you will lose years, a lot of money. So you need a lot of developers, a lot of marketers, a lot of people. But you're a startup, you have just small money, so you should concentrate on the core thing. If you do, for example, with us P2B lending, you should concentrate on the just forms inside where investors can look at the opportunities, and the lender can share with us his data to make a scoring with us and to put it in the marketplace. So we're not concentrated on automatical open of banking accounts. We're not concentrated on automatical scoring, because seriously, in a first 3 months, you will have how much clients? 10, 15. You can do it manually. You don't need to automate this. You just need to show your clients that it works. How it works is the second question. So just do it manually. Everything that you can do manually, do it manually. And of course, concentrate on the day-to-day work. If you will concentrate on, for example, to create support team or something, you will lose money, you will lose time, you will not launching. After 6 months now, we have full launching MVP. You can try it on WishFinance.com. And I think, thank you. That's all my experience. Just concentrate on the product, think about it, and everything's well done. You don't need years to create something. Thank you. Questions?
So, do somebody have some questions regarding this project? Yeah.
Something about 2%. It depends. It more depends on the exchange rate. It's not about the commission. It's more depends on exchange rate. Come on, let me go.
So, as I remember, when you started, you have chosen between several markets, not Philippines, but also in your list was Indonesia, Thailand, and other markets. And as I remember, you never was living in Philippines. So, how did you choose? So, for example, people here they don't know other markets. How it's easier and faster to understand that this is market for you, and how to actually easier enter to the market?
For us, it was a good question. For us, it was 2 points. First point, it's about data that you can collect, not leaving your home. You just need to understand what you can do in this market, or you cannot do. For example, in Indonesia, it's not working at all, this model, because they have some government support for SMEs. So the SMEs in Indonesia can collect money for 7%. So we don't have a range to live there. And the second is a license for SMEs. They need to have a license. And the second thing is, of course, a contact. If you have a contact, for example, for us, it was again Ayana. that helped us to start in the Philippines market. They have more than 5,000 active SME clients. So you can provide this solution to them and start to working there. That's how it was. That's why we choose Philippines.
Hi there. Actually, I have two questions. First thing is that, are you guys still running on manual, or you already started to develop your prototype? Because I just heard from your slide that you are still doing it manually on the P2P transaction basis. Second question is, what if suddenly the regulator comes into place? Are you prepared for that? No, are you prepared something to fill in or to fill up your forms or prepare for the regulations? And how are you going to pivot from that?
The answer on the first question, yes, we still do it manually because we are just launching, and the key thing that I want to share with you is that when you have the launched product and you do it manually, you can automate these processes. So you don't stop your developing. You still developing. You just see when you lose much time, and this thing you automate first. So you don't. At this point, you understand what you need to automate. So this is how it works. For the second question, as fast as I launched and to be a great business, I can talk with the regulator. If I the man from nowhere and go to and try to talk to the regulator, I'm man from nowhere and don't have money. So if they will regulate this and I will be successful business, okay, I buy a license because I have money. If I'm not successful, okay, I'm still developing something.
Hi, I'm looking at your website. So you have a very impressive 0% default. So just wondering, how was it achieved, or is there any security mechanism or any collaterals?
It's a really good question. The first answer is yes, 0%, because we don't have a lot of clients at all. The second question, the second answer will be much more interesting for startups. If you show at your first landing page that you work just with the 3 clients, come on.
Hello. Thank you for a good presentation. I'm just interested, what is your exit strategy?
It's always 2 exit strategy. First exit strategy, when you try to create a business that is revenue successful, that give you big revenue, and it go to APO and you are a billionaire or something. And the second exit strategy, always when somebody from the market will buy you for some money that you cost. This is a 2 type of companies that can buy you. First of all, it's a company from another vertical, as Slava said. Before, some companies try to move from the vertical to vertical. That's why they need. That's why they want to buy you, because they need to go to the market as fast as they can. And you have all. You have infrastructure, people, clients, etc., etc. And the second strategy, when somebody in the one vertical want to increase the percent of the market, and they buy you as a competitor. That's all.
For you,
it's always not one strategy. You should think about everything. If you will concentrate only on one exit strategy, at the beginning, at the early beginning, at the pre-seed stage, when you have just several clients, you can lose all opportunities other.
For your system, there are two key components. The first one is the credit scoring. The other one will be a big data initiative. So any so-called strategy do you have for your coming development? Two key components for this system is actually credit scoring, and the other one is a big data initiative. Do you have this particular tool ingredient?
When I talk about Ayana and Omnicom, I talk about the data, also the data that can provide to us. Ayana and Omnicom is mobile POS systems that know all transactions for their clients. So for us at this stage, we're asking a client and asking Ayana and Omnicom to share with us all data for last 12 months. So for us, makes sense to make a decision on this data about scoring, about how good this SME. And this also about the big data. They have a big data they share with us. We share with them some revenue that we take from this.
You said that you land from Singapore, you take from Singapore and you land Philippines, right? So currency risk?
It's also a good question. The currency risk here is more or less minimum because we don't, we try to lend money as short as we can, so for 2 months, for 3 months, and of course we have some risks, but we think that exactly this risk should be on the investor. So when investor from Singapore invest, he invests in Philippine dollars. Yeah. No. If you invest 1,000 Philippines dollars, the lender, the SME, should pay back 1,000 plus %. So this risk is on investor. If something change, investor will pay. Sorry guys. Enough.
Okay, last question.
I can see that how you protect your investment because it's a short-term finance, very much like money markets in a way. And looking at your 2 to 3%, it can be quite profitable though. But one thing is that, do you think the banks will want to work together with you in doing this business? What do you think? Why should bank work with you if they are interested?
It's also a good question. One more. I personally believe that SMEs, Philippines, or in Thailand, the next country that I'm looking for, Do you look on them? They are really small. They are more or less unbanked and don't use banking, classical banking service. So for bank, if they want to have a partnership or buy this product, yes, it's good because this is another people from the market. So it's a new client for this bank. I think more or less this answer. I'm tech guy, come on. it's huge. Thank you, guys.
Just a few comments on WishFinance and regarding this presentation. We usually invest into mature companies, Series A, Series B, which have already product and traction. That is why it's easier for us to understand the future of the business and its finance and future potential valuation of the whole company. And we only made few investments into very seed stage companies like WishFinance. And I just will compare WishFinance with another company which we invested, and I will not tell you the name of the company, but it was more or less on the same stage of development. But what Dmitry is doing right, and he was sharing this, that they try to be faster and always show the results, even small results. So that is why they make this product manually, yes, at the first stage. This is very important for all investors to see the real results. Another company which I mentioned, they spent already more than 1 year without any results in terms of the product. So if I know a lot of problems inside, I know a lot of limitations, but if you compare the stage of the company that was 1 year ago, more than 1 year ago when we invested, and right now, it's almost the same in terms of the product. So, and that is really frustrating for investor, because so why for WishFinance, even some small changes, some small improvements, some small achievements in the business, it's really very good sign for investors, and it makes us believe in the company and support it in further. So that is why this advises how to be very fast, especially at the first stage when you launch the business. It's very important. I believe Bcash can also tell the same regarding his company.